The first time Karim realized he was in love, it unsettled him. He was not a man who moved without certainty. Even as a second-year student at Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, Karim already thought like a man 10 years ahead. Numbers made sense to him. Risk, reward, timing. Forex trading had become his quiet battlefield long before love ever appeared. He came from a respected family in Kano. His father owned properties across the city. His uncles were established businessmen. In his house, legacy was expected, not built. But Karim wanted to build his own. Failure did not scare him. Dependency did. He met Zara during a lecture on a dry Harmattan afternoon. While the class whispered and shifted impatiently, she sat still, listening, not waiting to speak, but absorbing. He noticed that their first real conversation happened in the library after he lost money on a trade. He stared at his screen too long. She sat across from him. "You look like someone fighting something invisible," she said softly. He almost smiled. "It's just the market." "Nothing you care about is ever just anything," she replied. That was when he began to see her differently. Zara was not loud, not dramatic. She believed quietly. When he doubted himself, she didn't offer advice she didn't understand. She offered presence. During Ramadan, they broke fast outside her family's compound in Kano. The scent of fried masa in the air, children running past them. He never touched her beyond what was respectful, but he noticed everything. The way she laughed, the way she lowered her gaze when elders passed, the way other men looked at her. It didn't make him angry. It made him certain. One evening under the neem tree near the faculty building, he spoke without overthinking. "In my family, men marry more than once," he said quietly, "but I won't." She looked at him carefully. "In my family," he continued, "when I marry, it will be once, and it will be you." He did not say it for romance. He said it because he believed it, and Zara believed him. That same night, as he walked back to his hostel, his phone rang. His father. "Come home," his father said. "There is something we need to discuss." The word discuss felt heavier than it should have. Karim did not know it yet, but the future he had planned was about to meet a past he did not create.
When Karim returned to Kano, he already sensed something waiting for him. His father did not call meetings without reason. The sitting room was arranged formally that evening. His father at the head, two uncles beside him, his mother slightly withdrawn but present. Tea was served in small glass cups. No one touched theirs. "There is a matter that has reached its time," his uncle began. Karim felt it before he heard it. "Before you were born," his father said steadily, "a promise was made between families." Sumaya, his cousin. Years ago, when Karim's father faced financial collapse, it was Sumaya's father who stepped in quietly. No publicity, no humiliation, just loyalty. And in return, a bond was sealed. "When you were still a child," his uncle added, "your future was tied." Karim's jaw tightened. "I love someone," he said plainly. Silence. His mother's fingers tightened around her scarf. "You can marry her," she said gently, "but not before this one. This must come first." "It will protect our name," his father repeated. "Honor is not negotiable." Karim had built his success independently. Every trade, every risk, every sleepless night. But he had not built himself outside his family. And that truth stood in the room heavier than pride. When he returned to Zaria, he did not delay telling Zara. They sat beneath the neem tree, the evening quiet around them. Karim held her hands gently. "Zara," he said softly, "I cannot dishonor my father, but I will not break my promise to you." Her hands trembled. "And what does that mean, Karim?" "It means she will be my wife by name, by contract, but my heart," he squeezed her hands, "has always been yours." She swallowed hard, the ache in her chest sharp. "So, you're asking me to wait?" He said, voice steady. "I'm asking you to trust me. No one can replace you, not ever." A single tear escaped her eye. He pressed a gentle kiss to her forehead. "I swear it, Zara, not for a day, but for a lifetime." She rested her head against his shoulder, hurt and hope tangled together. The wedding in Kano was everything tradition required it to be. Sumaya's hands were covered in intricate henna the night before, dark patterns curling across her palms while women sang old Hausa wedding songs around her. Laughter filled the courtyard. Gold bangles chimed against each other. She looked radiant, hopeful. Karim performed his role flawlessly, calm, respectful, dignified. Guests praised the union, elders nodded in approval. The families stood united. But joy and obedience are not the same thing. When Sumaya entered his home as his wife, she did so with dreams that had been building quietly for years. She believed love could grow after marriage. She did not know she had stepped into a heart already occupied. And as the celebration lights dimmed and the last of the guests left, Karim stood alone for a moment in the courtyard. He had fulfilled duty, but something inside him felt divided. And division, he would soon learn, does not stay quiet forever.
Marriage did not change Karim. It only divided him. The home he moved Sumaya into was quiet, carefully furnished. Cream walls, soft rugs, carved wooden doors. Everything neat, everything intentional. Sumaya arrived carrying hope in her eyes. She knew he had loved before, but she believed love could grow here. The first night, he spoke gently, keeping his distance. Sumaya, he said, sitting across from her, I will never disrespect you. You will want for nothing, but I need time. She nodded, understanding the words she did not want to hear. Days passed. Karim kept his visible promises. He ensured she wanted for nothing. He noticed her small joys, the way she laughed at a clever line in a book, the way she traced patterns on her notebooks with a delicate pen. He gave gifts he knew she would treasure, a new book, a silk scarf, fresh flowers, but his heart was elsewhere. Nights found him driving to the old neem tree in Zaria, where sometimes Zara was already waiting. They spoke softly about life, about longing, about what could never be undone. Their words were private, sacred, and carried the weight of years of love. You look tired, Zara said one evening. I am only divided, he replied, a small sad smile touching his lips. Sumaya began to notice the absences, the trips that were slightly too frequent, the private calls he stepped outside to answer. Yet, he never lied, never shouted, never dismissed her. He respected her completely, even as he kept his heart elsewhere. She visited his mother once. There was a girl before you, his mother said gently, but you are his wife now. Time changes men. Sumaya went home that night, the word echoing in her mind. Time changes men. But what if it doesn't? Months passed. Karim fulfilled all duties, family gatherings, photographs, appearances, but love cannot be reassigned. It either lives somewhere or it does not. One evening, Sumaya finally asked the question she had held back for months. Do you love her? Yes, he said quietly. And me? I respect you. I care for your well-being. I will always protect you. Honest words, but honesty can hurt more than lies. Meanwhile, Zara began to feel the weight of waiting. She was still gentle, still soft, but uncertainty crept into her chest. One night, under the neem tree, she asked quietly, if this never ends, will you still choose me? He looked at her as if the answer had been inevitable all along. There has never been another choice. For the first time, Zara realized something frightening. His devotion was absolute, not demanding, not suffocating, but unwavering. The turning point came quietly. Sumaya discovered a notebook in his study, pages filled with plans for the future, investment ideas, scribbles, and on the very last page, written in bold, deliberate ink, Zara, always. Sumaya did not cry. She closed it slowly, letting the reality settle. She prayed, not for love to survive, but for dignity, for the grace to see this through with honor. She was not a pawn, nor a shadow. She would find her place, and she would find it whole. Sumaya did not confront Zara. She did not create a scene. She chose clarity over chaos. For weeks after finding the notebook, she watched Karim quietly. Not suspicious, not bitter, just observant. She noticed how his voice softened when Zara's name slipped out accidentally. How he would pause for half a second too long when someone mentioned Zaria. how he could sit right beside her and still feel miles away. One evening after Isha prayer, the house was unusually still. She sat across from him in the living room. No anger, no tears, just steadiness. "Karim," she said gently, "I deserve to be loved fully." He did not interrupt. "You have never disrespected me. You have provided, you have protected me, but you have never chosen me." That word landed heavily. Chosen. He closed his eyes because she was right, and this was the one thing he could never manufacture. "I will not compete with a memory," she continued, "and I will not wait for time to change what is already certain. Release me." The families were called. His father's disappointment was sharp and loud. "This will stain us," he warned. But Sumaya's father spoke with quiet strength. "If my daughter is not loved, then keeping her there is the true stain." And just like that, the decision settled. The divorce was dignified. No shouting, no humiliation. Karim returned her mahar in full and more. He transferred property into her name quietly. He arranged for her postgraduate studies abroad, remembering a dream she once mentioned before marriage redirected her life. At the airport, there were no dramatic embraces, just honesty. "I hope you find a love that does not feel divided," she told him. "I hope you find a life that feels whole," he replied. For the first time since their wedding, they both smiled, not out of obligation, but peace. Months later, Karim approached Zara's family formally. No conditions, no divided loyalties, no shadows. Their wedding was smaller than before, simpler, but the joy felt different, lighter, real. When her henna dried that night, Zara looked at him quietly. "Is this finally real?" He held her hand carefully, like something sacred. "It has always been real. Now it is rightful." Years passed gently. Karim's business expanded beyond Kano. Zara built a foundation supporting young girls' education. Their home was not loud with passion. It was steady with partnership, the kind of love that breathes easily. And somewhere overseas, Sumaya thrived. She completed her studies. She rebuilt herself. She met someone who did not hesitate when he chose her. Someone whose eyes did not wander elsewhere. The reunion happened unexpectedly at an international conference years later. Karim saw her first, radiant, confident, unburdened. Zara stood beside him when they approached. Introductions were warm, mature, clean. No tension, no awkwardness, just growth. As they parted, Sumaya said softly, "Sometimes tradition ties knots, but wisdom knows when to untie them." And that was that. That night, under the Kano sky, the call to prayer echoed across the city. Karim reached for Zara's hand, not out of fear, not out of possession, just gratitude. This time, there was no condition, only choice.